السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. I said that we were going to have a twist today. And the twist is we're going to do fiqh, but we're going to have a review. Review and fiqh. So we're going to have a review. And how we're going to conduct this review today is everyone who has the fiqh classes that we've done, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. And you're going to bring us up to speed. You either raise your hands or I'll select you. So we're going to deal with the first thing that we did in fiqh. First thing that we did in fiqh. First of all, who wants to tell me what is the meaning of fiqh? What is the meaning of fiqh? ما تعريف الكلمة كلمة الفقه. What's the تعريف? What is the meaning of the word fiqh? Okay, what is it?
It's the science of how we practice our religion.
Okay. Are you reading it? I want people to try to give me answers from what they remember, what they've studied. I don't think people are really studying. Somebody has to prove me wrong. Or I'm going to have to start giving out tests, exams. Because every time I ask questions, I see everyone racing to the notebook. It's okay, you know. I'm glad that you're taking notes, but I would like for you to, go over the notes and study this material because we're not doing this for a job or for some quick certification. We're doing this so that we can get closer to our Lord, so we can understand our religion. So we'll be worshiping Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala ala basira, upon clarity, clear insight. So, anyone else? Repeat what you said.
I said it's the science of the way we practice our religion.
The science of the way that we practice our religion. You wanted to say something, Sheikh?
That which is permitted or not permitted.
Okay, that was permitted and not permitted in the religion. Jurisprudence.
Excuse me, sound like that.
That's another thing.
Your light, your tuck is on?
It is? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I wonder if yes.
It's the understanding and application of the Sharia
Okay.
from the sources.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Fiqh, give me one word. I'm looking for one word.
Law?
Who said that? Law?
Law?
Okay. Who else can give me a word? Rules? Okay. Fiqh, the word that I'm looking for is fahm. Fahmun. Fahmun, which means understanding. Right? واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي.
All right.
Remove the not.
Just got words that you lost your legs.
Oh, Jazakumullah khair. Give me a second, let me,
So
down
it's
for my
not
notes.
only the rules, it's understanding of the rules.
It's understanding, the word fiqh means fact, understanding. But when we get into it as a science, it's the science of implementation, how we practice our religion, how do we implement, how do we implement the, averages in the Sharia?
Alaikum
Who knows the dua for entering the masjid?
In English?
If that's what you know. But we wait, let's see if someone else knows in the Arabic first. Can you a little louder, please?
Allahumma inni
Put the Google down. Put Google down right now. No Google.
I'm not in Google.
Phones down.
going out is Allahumma inni
Okay, give us the English.
Oh Allah, please open for me your doors of mercy.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
I don't know the song.
Okay, that's okay. Say it again.
Allahumma
Allahumma
Rabba
a'udhu what?
Rabba
A'udhu Rabba rahmat. Okay, I'll give you one. A'udhu billahi al-azim.
That's another one you said?
No, I was, we'll let the sister that's in the fortress, let's see what she comes up with.
You said
I'm gonna give her, she wants to go in the fortress. Okay.
Allahumma ja'al fi qalbi nuran.
No, that's when going out to the masjid. I want the dua for when you enter the masjid.
Bismillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Allahumma aftah li abwaba rahmati.
That's one, you can say that. You got another one? You're gonna find different adiyah. Whatever you do, learn them, study them, use them, implement them. Especially for the people who come to the masjid. Okay.
English question. And what we say is, should we say that in Arabic?
Of course, it's always better, but it's not to say they won't be accepted. The only thing that you absolutely have to say in Arabic is salah. You have to make salah in Arabic. No other language inside of the salah, right? Just Arabic, But we should try. It's fun, it's learning. Plus, we're getting closer to our Lord by way of it. Remember when one struggles trying to pronounce words in Arabic, he gets 10 hasanah for each letter that he pronounces. And he says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I don't say that alifun lamun mim harf, walakin alifun harf, wa mimun harf, wa lamun harf, wa mimun harf. That alif is a harf, lam is a harf, and mim is a harf. Right? So every letter that you attempt to pronounce, you get 10 rewards for it. Yes. Okay. So now, fiqh, fahm. What did we learn? What's the first thing that we learned? Look straight ahead. I want to hear you. What's the first thing you learn in fiqh?
Salah. The things that are displeasing in Salah.
Okay. Who else?
What did you read?
See?
One is Salah.
Okay.
I see what she said.
Okay. Tawheed. Oneness of Allah. What you
What's
say?
this like?
Who?
What's this like?
What's this like? Are you saying what she said in the salah?
What's acceptable?
First thing that we learn is tahara, purification. The first thing you learn in fiqh is purification. After understanding fiqh and having some understanding of what fiqh means, you learn purification. You can't do acts of worship without purification. So before we can even get to the salah, those things that are like, that dislike, we have to be pure. We have to be pure. We have to be in a state of purification. And prior to that, and most books of fiqh is going to talk about, since we talk about purification, you got to talk about what we purify ourselves with. Water, the different types of water, right? The rulings on water, different types of water.
Or dirt,
Water,
or
water.
dirt, or earth, because we can purify ourselves.
Yeah, but we start with water. Yeah, we're talking about the water, the different types of water. Then when we get into tahara, we get into tayammum. Because there's no tayammum, and that's how we say it. Everyone say tayammum. Tayammum. There's no tayammum if there's water. Tayammum is a substitute for water. But if a person, you find a lot of people who used to do, and I'm pretty sure some of you probably have done this before. If you're not doing it right now, if you're doing it right now, stop. Driving along, just grab some dust off your dashboard or something like that, and make tayammum or slap something or the ground. Or no, you can't do that because you probably got a bottle of water in the car, right? If you have a bottle of water in your car, you can't make tayammum. If there's a store, if you're passing stores alone, you can't make tayammum.
So even if you're a woman driving alone,
Even if you're a woman driving alone. Because you're going to get out of that car eventually, right? It's okay for you to go do whatever else you're going to do as a woman driving alone. We don't pull that card, and we don't. Remember, and nisa shaqa'iq al-rijal, that the women are the twin halves of the men. Whatever is for men in Islam is for women in Islam. Everything is the same, unless something comes and specifies. Unless there's some sort of a specification. Now we can get into masah and stuff like that, wiping over the khimar or the shoes or whatever the case may be. But if you're riding, if you find water, you have to make wudu. Now, I understand where you're coming from with the question, but the reality of it is that we don't want to take shortcuts when it comes to our religion. We want to know what Allah commanded us to do and what He commanded us not to do, and we want to make sure that we do it right.
so therefore, get me straight on this, so therefore, if I feel it's unsafe for me to stop, is there
room to purify myself.
You purify yourself. We're talking about, we're not talking about purification in general, but we were talking about tayammum, that you can't make tayammum if there's water available.
Okay,
We're not talking about that, because if you have time to make it to where you're going, then naturally, of course. But we're talking about people who don't go get water when water is available and make tayammum.
okay.
No, you can't do that. Yes.
Okay, I'm really not trying to be facetious,
No, no, go ahead.
but what about snow?
You know what? Usually when people say that, some facetiousness is getting ready to come. No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
What about snow?
Snow?
Yeah,
Of course.
so you can make tayammum with snow, even if,
No, that's not, snow is water, in essence.
so, like, but you got the snow, so you should make a whole wudu, or you can just do tayammum with it? Or just-
No, you can't make tayammum with snow. But that's another, we didn't cover that yet. We'll get into that, inshallah. Yeah, we'll get into that, inshallah. But in reality, snow melts. So you can get snow, you can let snow melt. Snow is wet within itself. So it's wet, it's pure. It takes the ruling of water when there's no water. It becomes water, right? So you can take that snow and you can do your hands and you can, as long as it's clean. It's not no
You know,
Not
yellow
clear.
snow.
What's the
Yeah.
tayammum?
Huh?
Spell tayammum.
Tayammum, Tayya. Hold on, let me write it, man, because I'm.
correct.
Tayammum.
Is there two eyes in here or no one?
2 eyes?
Wise, is it a shadda of liyah or no?
I mean, why is it? So why ask why when we only have one why? Okay, now, what? Oh, okay. That would be tayammum, right? Excuse me. If we had 2 Y's, it would be tayammum, right? Tayammum,
Tayammum.
tayammum, yep.
So it's a stress on the M.
Yeah, you wasn't here for the last Quran class. Yeah, we talked about the shadda and the 2 consonants when they come together. You put tashdid on it. You put emphasis on it. When you see it, write it. What I like to call this English, right? English letters with Arabic pronunciation, right? So when you see 2 consonants next to each other, you give them strength and you kind of, put force on them and hold them for a minute. You see 2 vowels, you elongate it. Now, what else do we learn in fiqh?
Well, the Tahara was first, and then the next thing we learned was the things that were disliked in the prayer.
Okay. It's your favorite subject, right?
But that was what I had in my book.
Okay, I'm gonna look. Naturally, we would go to things that nullify the purification, the things that make the purification invalid.
I don't know where that notebook went, so.
Things that nullify wudu, things that nullify ghusl, things that make the person who is pure makes him or her impure.
Vomit,
No,
blood,
we're not gonna really get into like,
the particular.
yeah, we're just gonna like deal with kind of like some of the chapters.
What's the Arabic word for, okay, you got Tahara for purification, what is the impure?
Nawaqid, the things that nullify.
No,
Nawaqid,
no,
nawaqid, the things that nullify. No? Why? We go with these. Nawaqid, we just say nawaqid. Nawaqid, something like that. It's a wall on the end, the welcome,
Oh,
that letter that we talked about, right? That letter that,
so it's DH on the end.
the sound that no other language has, right? Things that nullify your wudu.
What's that, O-L-H?
O-L-H? No,
The last- the last
N-A-W-A-A-Q-I, that was that D. D-H.
D-H.
Sorry about that. Pardon me?
I just repeated the word.
Okay. Now, these are the things that nullify, make you impure. Right? Now, what else will we learn in fiqh? Go ahead.
The things are just like in Surah.
Okay. Well, wouldn't we have to first be making salah?
That's not the order that we.
Your order don't have anything to do with us. Your order is out of order. You're gonna make us be subjected to your order. You put that before everything. That's not that. Before we can do things that are disliked in the salah, we have to get in the salah. Right? So we would have to go over, like, the conditions of the salah. Right? Pardon me? Yeah, the conditions of the salah, right? The obligations in the salah, the pillars of the salah, the obligations, the sunnah, right?
Okay, so is this conditions of salah, obligations / pillars, or is this obligations then pillars?
Obligations, then pillars. Well, pillars, then obligations.
They go together.
No, they go in that order.
Okay.
Pillars before the obligations.
Conditions, so
Conditions, pillars, obligations, sunnah. Sunnah. You know,
Is it obligations and then sunnah? Sunnah is a whole other one.
conditions,
Pillars.
pillars, obligations, sunnah.
Sunnah,
Sunan. 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 Yep. Sunan. Yeah,
Plural of sunnah.
that's the plural of sunnah. Plural of sunnah. But we're referring to actions. You know, sunnah, actions of sunnah.
So sunnah is referring to the action?
Well, when we talk about sunnah, we're talking about the sunnah aspects of the salah, the things that are just sunnah. They're not pillars, they're not obligations, they're sunnah. Yeah. Right? Now, one of the things that I want to mention is who wants to give me the conditions of the salah? Raise your hands while looking at your paper.
You wanna give you what?
Close your books and tell me what are the conditions of the prayer. Who would like to give me the conditions of the prayer? Okay.
Do you want all of them from one person, or can we call out some?
The sister already volunteered.
Okay. First of all, you had your hand up, Sheikh? Okay, go ahead, Sheikh. Let the Sheikh go first. I'm not going to say right or wrong. I'm gonna let everyone. That's what we'll do. Everyone's going to tell me, why are you in your notebook? I said close the notebook. Close it. Let's go.
okay, conditions of the salah. The time must be in for that particular salah.
Okay.
You must have purification, a pure area to make the salah.
Okay.
Your
I'm sorry,
clothing,
I didn't hear the.
Don't worry about it. You're going to get your turn.
I was just asking.
she didn't hear me.
I kind of don't want you to. That's the point. That's the point. Because everybody is going to go individually. All right,
No.
okay, now, you can go now.
He was,
I wanna know what you know.
I don't, that's what I'm trying to
Oh, okay,
clarify.
okay.
I mean, I have an idea.
Well, give me your
but
idea. What's your idea?
All three, he said,
I thought you didn't hear it. He said going to the bathroom, coming out of the bathroom.
no, he did not.
How you know? You didn't hear him.
I heard the first two, and I was asking, who was the third one?
Okay, okay, let's not put a lot. Go ahead.
Wow. You really want me to go?
No, I'm saying if you don't want to go, you don't have to. But I know you were saying you wanted to share it, so I figure you.
No, I was trying to hear what he said.
No, I'm saying when she said y'all was saying you was gonna do, you said that we got to do them all one person or we're gonna split it up. So you give me whichever ones you know, and we'll let someone else. Now you don't have to now.
I mean, I don't think so. I will participate.
Okay. Tell me the first two he said.
He said the time, he said purification. The third one, I wasn't quite clear on what he said. Another one was being of sound mind.
Okay. What about you, sister?
I would say after that, it would be, I guess, the intention.
The intention? Okay. Good job.
Then you want me to say another one?
Yeah.
And then, the obligation is what, Allahu Akbar? Start, you should tell me.
No, we're still doing conditions now.
Conditions. I'll stop at intention, that's right.
Okay. What about you? Okay. What about you? You got them all? No, say them. Don't point. Say them.
You have to be within a sound mind.
Okay.
You have to pray within the correct time.
Okay.
You have to have your intentions.
Okay.
You have to have, be in the state of purity.
Okay.
You have to be facing the Qibla.
Okay.
How many are there? You have to, you said intentions, right? So when you say.
Okay. All right.
What about the clean area?
You said purification. Well, Sheikh said that, but that's also one. We forgot the most important one. You have to be a Muslim.
You ain't pick on me, I was.
Yes, I did. You try to sneak it in there. You have to be a Muslim. That's the first thing. You also have to be of age. You have to be of age, meaning you have to have reached the age of discernment. Baligh. For the girl, she has to have had that dream. For the boy, he has to have had, the girl, the young lady, she comes on her menstrual cycle, right? What did I say would happen if either one of those things didn't occur? Give me one thing that would determine whether or not the person was valid.
Repeat the last word you said.
Huh?
You said valid?
Baligh has reached the age of discernment.
Puberty.
What's puberty? Puberty is a wet dream. Puberty is menstrual cycle. What else is, what's puberty?
I'm sorry, could you please restate the question?
Something that I said was a way that can determine whether a child has reached that age. If they don't know if they had that dream or if they haven't had it.
It would be their actual age, literal?
No, that has nothing to do with it.
I thought you said that it could be the coarseness of their.
You didn't say that just a second ago. You said puberty. You didn't say,
I said pubic hair, that's what I said.
even if you said that, you gave me more detail right there. That's what we're talking about, detail. We're talking about specifics, because that's important. We said coarse hair, because it's important to say coarse hair, like you attempted to say later. It's important. Why? Because just hair, you can have some hairy babies, right? This can happen. But we're talking about coarse hair, the hair that grows and it starts to curl up or kink up, whatever texture hair you have. This is an indication, or could be an indication, that that child has reached the age of discernment, right? Because sometimes kids may not know for a fact if they actually had something, as far as a dream or something like that. They may not know, they may not get all the telltale signs, they may be a little shy or whatever the case may be, What's another one?
Another one, condition or.
Condition.
Girls, for the girls,
Anyone?
when she began developing.
No, not necessarily, because you got some women who haven't, or may not have appeared to have developed.
I think if I remember, I thought it was maybe like the boy's voice, the
No.
change in voice.
It's not the voice. Covering the outer. Covering the outer. This is one condition. The outer has to be covered.
The men and the women.
Men and the women. Can you come to the prayer with shorts on?
I thought we were still on, how would you know if they
Right.
have not had?
No. We gave some example. I said, give me another condition.
Oh,
Yeah. No one said that anyway, so everyone was pretty much done. They didn't say cover the outer, so let's not do the face thing and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to learn, we're trying to know this stuff. We're not trying to, we're trying to make sure that we know this stuff and understand it, because it's important.
So it's 7 conditions:
What do you have?
purification, age, Muslim, sound mind, intention, facing the Kaaba.
Here, what I'm gonna do is,
Tahara.
I'm gonna take whatever you say and write it down. Okay? Okay, you said one was what?
Purification,
Purification? Purification, okay, number 2.
intention,
Nia. We need to know that anyway, Nia. 3.
sound mind. It's probably not in order, I just
No,
got it.
yeah, don't worry about that. We say, intellect.
Wouldn't it necessarily be intellect, like, what if you're like,
That's the age of the kid.
really,
What was that?
I was just thinking like.
No, someone else said something, I didn't hear.
I was saying, when you said intellect, she said something, I was saying that's the age of the kid, that's the intellect of the person.
Okay, what did you say?
We were talking about the sound mind, were you saying that would be intellect?
Yeah, because in the article, we say aql. We say aql, that they have to have aql, meaning that they're able to, they're able to understand, to comprehend. They're not, they're sane.
Okay.
They're not insane.
So that's what I was saying, my question was, is it just intellect? Because what about people who are angry? Never mind, because you're angry, that goes to purification, never mind.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you don't lose your
No.
when you get angry?
No,
Wow, I did not know that.
yeah, that's why we're here.
Wow. Mashallah.
No, this right here is basically, I'm having people who call me now that never called me. SubhanAllah. The nullifiers of wudu. Becoming angry is not one of them. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was giving advice, and he was giving some ways that a person can curb the anger and, sit down, lay down, make wudu, like that. So sitting down, laying down, this wouldn't, necessarily, what I mean? So this is not something that breaks your wudu, right? It can actually be something that can cause you to lose your mind eventually, but not all the way across the board. Not everyone who gets angry, and that's something else that we need to mention, because a lot of people try to go to this. And the people online, I hope you hear me, that a lot of people are trying to say, in cases of divorce, well, I was angry, so that didn't count. No. You divorced that woman, you divorced that man, you're divorced. Don't come back later talking about I was angry. Who isn't angry? Nobody come home, oh man, this was a great month. This week, I was productive, I'm so happy. Baby, I want a divorce. Who does that? There's going to be some degree of anger there, right? So that's not what we're talking about, right? So anger can cause you to lose your mind, but not across the board. Being angry doesn't mean you don't have sense, right? Yeah. What was the fourth one?
Muslim?
Muslim?
Yes.
Okay. We say Islam.
Facing the Kaaba?
So number 5 is, we just say Qibla. Qibla means direction of the Kaaba. So if ever you hear the word Qibla, that means the direction of prayer. Direction of prayer, yes.
Covering your arm?
Awra. Awra. It's with an ayn. It's like this. For those of you who know how to read and write Arabic, it's awra. Awra. And we write it in English like this. Awra. Like that. Awra. What's the next one? Go say awra. 6 was awra. And what was 7?
Age.
Age. Okay.
What are we missing?
Hmm?
Are we missing any?
Time.
Time. Let's say, let's put it over here since they probably can't see down here online. So let's say number 8, we put time. What does time mean? Everyone keeps saying time. What does it mean?
Zenith.
I'll pray in this fix. You can't make fudge
Zenith.
Zenith?
Zenith.
You said zenith. Okay. Say it again.
You can't make any one of the salats out of the order.
Actually, yeah, that too. But it's actually called, in Arabic, this condition will be called dukhul al-waqt. Dukhul al-waqt. The entrance of the time. Meaning that you can't pray a salat before the time for the salat. كما قال الله سبحانه وتعالى إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. Verily, the prayer has been enjoined upon the believers at fixed times. So you have to pray them when that prayer has entered. Unless you have a valid reason, traveling or sick or something like that. Other than that, and even then you can't pray it before. You can pray also at dhuhr time, but it has to be the time of dhuhr. You can't say I'm combining dhuhr and asr because I'm traveling and it's only 12 o'clock and the salat doesn't come in at 12:30. No, it has to be the time for that prayer.
So dukhul means entrance?
Dukhul. I'm sorry, yeah, dukhul. Du. Khul. Du. Khul. Dakhala. Yadkhulu. Udkhul. Dukhul.
That's a ha?
No. Dakhala.
Okay.
Dakhala. He entered. Dakhalat. She entered. Yeah. Now, the one that we didn't say, we got purification. And the other one would be
The clean place.
Yeah, izalatul najasa, removing the impurities. Not just clean, but you have to remove the impurities. Get all the impurities from around you. Meaning that you can't pray in a filthy place where things are filthy, najis, impure. You have to remove those things.
What a najasa? I'm sorry.
Huh?
What najasa?
What? Izala. Izalatul najasa. To remove the impurities. To remove the impurities. Yeah, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna take this stuff off the top because we should already have all this. I'll say Izala. Izala. To and najasa. Izalatu and najasa. I was gonna put najasat. Izalatu najasa. Izalatu najasati.
She was asking a question, I was trying to, so the purification, meaning that part is like having a stinja. And then the.
Everything that purification entails, not just being clean in your below, but also having that includes the clothes. This includes the clothing in the place of prayer.
Okay.
The tahara means of your body, meaning that you have wudu or ghusl or something like that. Now, who wants to tell me something that I mentioned? Hands up, no blurting, about these things. The difference between the conditions, the wajibat, and the arkan and the wajibat.
The difference between the conditions.
Huh? The difference between these things. What's distinctive or distinct about the conditions and the arkan, or the pillars? Yes.
If you don't have the conditions in order, then it negates the pillars.
No, but you kind of skating around the thing a little bit. Simplified, it's the conditions, the shurut, they happen outside of the salah. Whereas the obligations and the pillars, they happen inside of the salah. So you have to have every condition met before you can even think about approaching prayer at all. There will be no prayer if you don't have those conditions. If any one or more of those conditions are missing, no prayer. That's why, simply put, the non-Muslim cannot pray. If he prays, if he fasts, he's just going through the motions. He's just starving himself. There's no benefit, no reward. Right? So if a non-Muslim is praying salah, then it's not, his prayer is not accepted, it's not valid. That's why we don't allow the non-Muslims to join our ranks. If they want to come to the masjid and participate, we put them off on the end of the row or in the back so that they don't affect. Yeah, so they don't affect, because it breaks the row. Have someone in the row that's not Muslim, that's not, even if you have a Muslim that's not upon tahara, didn't make wudu, broke the wudu, you know what I mean, don't understand the wudu, that can affect the salah. And it can also cause the imam to mess up in his recitation. Yeah. So it's better to put little kids who don't have wudu. People put the kids in the salah. Kids, nieces and nephews, they ain't even Muslim. Just brought them to the masjid, put them in the robe with the men, they playing in the salah. The men and the women can't concentrate in the prayer, right? This is why that's important, right? Sanity, being of age, being Muslim, because if you put this in the equation, Remember what the Prophet said, the masjid should be safe from crazy people, children, you know what I mean? Of course, the non-Muslim, right? So if you put these people inside of the prayer, they don't have any concern for the prayer. The salah is not important to them. They don't care about you connecting with your Lord. You know, talk on the phone, answer the phone, laugh, look at you, touch you, pull stuff off, distract you, right? Whereas the Muslim, the believer, is really trying to connect with their Lord, focusing on the salah and looking at the place where he should be making sujood, and right? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, there are some people that we know,
Mm-hmm.
that may not be in their right frame of mind,
Okay.
you know, that comes to Juma.
Okay.
Like, what do you do in that situation? Are you telling them not to, directing them not to pray, like you're on the end?
It's not your place. It's not my place. It's the place of the leader of the community, the imam, the sheikh. That's who should be dealing with that situation. I mean, we don't take it upon ourselves to tell people what they can and can't do. That can be offensive. We talked about that, giving nasiha and how to go about it, right? So what we do, we should be thinking, how should we interact with them, right? How should we, right? Not what we should be telling them. We should be telling them nothing, because it's not our place. Because if everyone does that, it's going to cause a problem. It's going to make that person feel isolated, ostracized, and probably act out because of whatever it is that they're dealing with mentally, emotionally. That can be a trigger. Also, it's not for us to determine who has what, right? This person crazy, she crazy. Well, maybe that person is only crazy when they don't take their medicine, right? Or when this has happened or that happened, right? The person may not be like that all the time. This is why we're very careful about putting rulings on people. Like, for example, takfir. Takfir. I'm gonna write this word for you, takfir. I'm gonna write a few words for you. I'm gonna write takfir, which is a problem. Takfir, right? Another word is tab. Yeah, what? Yeah. Tafsik. Another word is tabdi, takfir, tafsik, tabdi. The first one means,
D-E-R
pardon me?
at the end of the third word?
Yes,
Third word, D-E-R?
F-E-E-R.
The third word down,
This one,
yes.
tabdi, two E's. Tabdi, that right there, remember, put that up there to make the noun.
Okay.
This right here is to pronounce someone to be a kafir. No, you say apostate. Listen, takfir means to say, oh, you kafir. This person is a kafir, that person is a kafir. This is takfir. You've pronounced takfir on a person, you've said that this person is a disbeliever. Even if this person has done something that may constitute disbelief. Laysa, oh, we come.
That wasn't me.
Oh, no, I thought somebody was trying to get my attention. Someone, no, I thought someone was trying to get my attention. I thought someone was saying something. You okay? No, someone, I think she had a sharp pain or something.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying,
Oh,
yeah. She grabbed her side and okay, okay, takfir means to call someone a kafir. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the one who says this to his brother, oh, you kafir, then this is true about one of them. Right? So if you call somebody a disbeliever or anything else, and it's not true, then beware. You've just been told by the prophet that you're a disbeliever for making that statement about a believer.
Now, there's someone that I call a kafir. Are we talking about a Muslim that I'm calling kafir?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. This is what I said. To say, remember, You know, I'm gonna say something that's beneficial that I benefited from one of my teachers in Egypt years ago. He told me, he said, "Tasma' jaydan, tafham jaydan." He said, if you listen well, you'll understand well. You know, especially when it comes to Arabic language or word, but just things in general. Some of us got the trigger. Our mouth is like a little pistol or something. We got the finger on the trigger all the time. Just trying to say something. And think about this. Not just myself, but any teacher, parent, any person that's trying to give you some type of benefit. If we keep interrupting them, then what if they never go back to what it is that they were trying to say?
Sorry.
That means we miss something. We missed something that we could have benefited. Even with the companions, radiallahu ta'ala anhum, they were going to know when the night of power was. But some of them got into a fight with each other, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wasn't able to learn himself. So now, as a result of that, we don't know when the night of power is. So somebody can be saying something, but if he stops and, you know, and never goes back to that point, maybe it slips his mind, maybe we run out of time. Now we just miss, you know what I mean? But if we listen, it's very important. And I say this to say that I said if someone says to his brother, "Oh, you kafir," meaning his Muslim brother or Muslim sister, not just people in general, because we know that there are believers and disbelievers, and there are Muslims and kuffar. But you don't call another Muslim a disbeliever. Pardon me?
How can you call a Muslim a Catholic?
It's scary, but people do it. Trust me. People that you wouldn't even believe do it about people that you wouldn't even believe that they did it upon or said it about. People will not pray behind certain people. Muslims will intentionally not pray behind someone else because they believe that they have disbelief with them or their salat is not accepted. Yeah. And we get into some more stuff once I get into these others, and then we start getting to some examples and stuff like that. This right here, tafsir. This is to call someone a fasiq. A fasiq. Right? An open sinner. A sinner. An open sinner. A rebellious, like when we see in the Quran, we see open, rebellious, disobedient sinner, a fasiq. Someone who sins openly and doesn't care. Who doesn't have any shame. We all sin. Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, kullu bani Adam, all of the children of Adam khata. Wa khayrul khata'in at-tawwabun. Prophet said, all of the children of Adam sin. The best of those who sin are those who make tawbah. So don't ever think that you're above sin. The best people used to, the Prophet himself, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, used to say, astaghfirullah, up to 100 times a day. Right? Come on, man. We all sin. You're right, but there's some people who don't care about sin. They don't care. I had to stop someone the other day about discussing their sins in the masjid, talking with each other, sinful conversation. I'm like, man, look, the masjid is no place for that. You know, plus we're not Catholics. We don't have confessionals. We try to hide each other's sins, let alone our own. Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of my ummah will be forgiven except those who broadcast their sins. Right? So don't be so quick to see a person committing a sin and run and tell everybody what you saw, because you don't know when that might be you. May Allah protect us. Now, this is tabdid, to accuse a person of being a person of innovation, a person of bid'ah. Right? ليس كل من ابتدع أو وقع في البدعة فهو كافر. مبتدع. Likewise, kufr, and likewise, fisq. Not everyone who does an act of innovation is an innovator. Not everyone who does an action of kufr is a kafir. Not everyone who does some fisq is a fasiq. That's something that we have to know. We have to get our butts off our backs. As they used to say, you have to walk around with your butt on your back. Yes.
Repeat that again, the number 2.
Fisq, fasiq. Yeah, to say someone is a fasiq. Yeah, a lot of these words, you can look some of these words up in the glossary, like in some of the books, in the mushaf, you know, online or in the dictionary, right? So this stuff is very important. So we don't say these things. But there are some kuffar, there are some fusuq, and there are some mubtadi'ah, people of innovation, right? And we try to be away from kufr and fisq and bid'ah, have to be far away from it. But not everyone who does some act of kufr is a kafir, right? You may do some act of kufr. You may find yourself doing something and you didn't even know you did it. Like I've seen Muslims say, you say something to them, Jesus, but it's like something that just came as a habit or something they may have done or said, and they just got caught up in the moment. But that's a statement of disbelief, because this is something that the disbelievers use as a statement of praise and glorification.
A person that's a deviant,
Mhm.
what category do they fall in?
Just a deviant, but Muslim,
Yeah.
a person of innovation or desires. A person of desires. Ahwal, person who follows the desire. Ahl al-ahwal, people of desires. The people of hizbiyah, the people of, who fall into hizbiyah. Hizbiyah, qawmiyah, ansariyah, bid'ah. So any time a person does something in the religion that's not from the religion, this is a form of deviance, a form of deviation. But لَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ ابْتَدَعَ أَوْ وَقَعَ فِي الْبِدْعَةِ فَهُوَ مُبْتَدِعٌ. Not everyone who does an act of innovation or falls off into some innovation, not he's a mubtadi'. Right?
Now, anyone that falls into that, to rectify Tawbah, astaghfirullah.
I told, yeah, he has to make tawbah. If he falls into some kufr, no, you mean calling somebody this or actually becoming one of these?
One, you say some may do this, but they not that.
Yeah, he has to be informed. You know what I mean? He may not know. Like, for example, I'm trying to say something that neither one of you have done, so I don't want you to think I'm picking on nobody. Like, for example, a person who articulates the niyyah, who stands up in the salah and says the niyyah with his mouth or with her mouth out loud.
So are you saying when they stand up for salah and they say, I'm about to pray, it's your prayer?
Yeah, whether it's in
Okay.
English or Arabic or whatever language, yeah. This is an innovation. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never did it. The place of the niyyah is where?
In the heart.
In the heart, not on the tongue. Right? But if someone does that, we don't say he's an innovator, he's a person of innovation. It's something that he did. He did it accidentally, or he might have just thought it was okay because he's seen other people do it that he trusts, that he loves. Right? But this is why we study. This is why we go over this stuff. You know what I mean? We go over this stuff so that we can learn and we can advise one another. And see, one of the problems that people make is they learn something, they want to start attacking everybody else. Oh man, you wrong, you this, you that. Not everything we don't recognize is wrong because we don't recognize it. So if you want to advise someone, to correct someone, you better not only know what you're doing, but also know that what they're doing is incorrect. Yeah.
Okay. So I had this experience at the masjid where I prayed and then I wiped. Like I wiped my face,
Astaghfirullah.
like my body.
Astaghfirullah.
And the imam told me, where did you do that? Where did you find that? And why are you doing it and you weren't supposed to do it? So can you talk about that? Because, like you were saying, sometimes you pick up stuff
Yeah.
that you don't really know what you're picking up along the way. So can you mention that story?
It's something, man. Barakallahu fikum. May Allah bless all of you. Some of the people who need to hear this stuff, they don't come to hear it, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Because it's beneficial for all of us. I mean, sometimes I read the books and I find something myself that I may have not known or read something different in another book. You know what I mean? Fiqh is like that. When you talk about the issues of fiqh, the scholars, they differ in fiqh. You might have a scholar that's following one school of thought, a scholar that's following another school of thought. and there are some permissible differences. There are some differences that have proof. Whether or not you consider the proof to be strong or not, there are some things that, and this is why we understand and we learn the pillars, the obligation, and the sunnah in the prayer. Because some things in the prayer can invalidate your prayer, and some things don't. Some things you can make two prostrations for, some things you can't. Some things you do it, it don't matter, you don't have to make no, even if it's incorrect, or even if you left it off. You don't have to do it, right? So when it comes to stuff like that, we said that we have some principles, some foundational principles that we need to hold on to. One of which is everything in the dunya is permissible. So the asl, we need to write this down because we need to know this. The aslun, and I'm going to aslun, right?
Yes, sir.
You know what this word means?
Permissible.
Foundation. We explained this before. The book that we're studying, usul, is the plural of this. Usul. Usul. That's the three fundamental principles. The name of the book is Al-Usul al-Thalatha, the three fundamental principles. So asl is a foundation, right? And usul is the plural, foundations. So the asl, the foundation, right, is that which other things are built upon. The asl in our religion is permissibility. Permissibility. The asl in things, in things, let's say the thing. The asl of things, the foundation of things is permissibility. Now, who knows this? Because we talked about it. Remember, we're reviewing today. Nothing is really new, just pinpointing some things. So review. What are the things that I'm talking about? And why did I say the asl of things is permissibility?
I think because you're about to say that everything in the dunya is permissible until there's text to say otherwise.
Thank you. Y'all remember that? We talked about that.
And then everything in the religion is haram until there's text.
Not in the religion. In worship. Everything in worship. The asl of worship is impermissibility. The asl of things is permissibility. The asl of worship is impermissibility. So, the asl of things, meaning anything, what you wear, what you eat, what you drive, the material, the color, the style, all of it's permissible until you have something that comes and tell you that it's impermissible. So right now, I don't care where you come from, a lot of the people, not women so much, but men in particular, men dress all different types of ways. Got my Muslim stuff on. You got a little Pakistani outfit on. Everybody in Pakistan wear that, Muslims and non-Muslims. Africa, Asia, wherever, you know what I mean? Arabia, you know what I mean? Different parts of Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, right? Senegal, Nigeria. Everybody wear that stuff. What make it Muslim? What make it Islamic? That's a culture. That's how they dress culturally, right? So you can wear what you wear culturally. I can be standing here with jeans on, a sweatsuit on, right? A suit. I won't wear no tie. You know what I mean? I might wear, suit or something. You can do that. What's going to tell me that when the stuff comes from the legislation that tells me that I can't? Like, for example, men can't wear silk. Men can't wear gold. Men shouldn't allow their lower garment to be beneath their ankles. Men can't wear tight pants. Men can't pray with his shoulders out. Right? So on and so forth. Now we have some restrictions. He can't wear something that resembles women. He can't wear something transparent. Now we have some things that have come and made the asl impermissible. The asl permissibility now has made it impermissible. Likewise in worship, it's impermissible. You cannot worship Allah the way you want to worship Allah. You can't do it because worship is tawqifi, it's a fixed and established. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said what? Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Pray as you have seen me pray. This is a command from him. That's why every Muslim all over the world, irregardless of whether his hands is high on the chest, low on the chest, beneath the navel, above the navel, his hand is still right over left, somewhere in here, predicated on what he considers the proof to be. He stands up, face the Qibla, he says, Takbiratul Ihram, Allahu Akbar first. Al-Fatiha, Surah, Ruku', Qiyam, Sujood, right? You have to do that like that, no matter where you live, where you come from, what language you speak, what color you are, what race, what gender. You have to do that. You can't decide, okay, I don't want to. I think that I want to stand up and say subhanallah, raise my hand, say subhanallah. Then I want to recite tashahhud. Then I want to say Allahu Akbar. Then I want to go on ruku. Then I want to say Al-Fatiha. You can't do that. But believe me, there are people who try to do stuff like that. Right? I remember years ago when I was young, they tried to have us praying funny. We were standing up saying Allahu Akbar, we was praying all prayers out loud. We was going Allahu Akbar into ruku'. When we come out of ruku', we say Allahu Akbar, we go on ruku'. Then we say Allahu Akbar, straight to sujood. No standing back up. We didn't have no tashahhud. When we set for tashahhud, we was reciting Ayatul Kursi or whatever. I mean, they making stuff up, trying to deduce salat from, verses from the Quran, just making it up. So you don't want us to follow the established sunnah, but you want us to follow your sunnah. Allah musta'an. So in worship, you can't worship Allah the way that you want to worship Allah. You can't tell me my Sufi sheikh came and said, if I say this many subhanallahs, that I'll never have a headache again in my life.
Or put this dua in water.
Or whatever the case may be. If you bring your wife to me before she get to you, you'll have a blessed marriage. And so, I don't want to. But these type of things happen. You know what I mean? They eat the urine, they eat the defecation. I seen one Sufi sheikh ripping his stomach out, and the people were eating it. Huh? No, he's just pulling chunks of meat out of his stomach, and the people were eating it. But we have like books like The Fortress of the Muslim, for example, where we have different dua, a different dua for pretty much every aspect of our lives. People go to the shuyukh, these elders, these scholars, and ask for, like they got a prescription from a doctor and say, here, I need something for this, I need something for that. I don't know, that's some scary stuff. Yes.
So, in the event that, you're somewhere and you're making salah, and like you said, like, in the case that you experienced, and just in ruku and then just want to sujood, what you do? Just get out of line, or?
Well, I mean, I tried it. These were people that I thought were like teaching me the right way. I was young. I was just, being developed. You know what I mean? One of our teachers when I was a teenager, but it didn't sit well with me. Alhamdulillah, man, I learned how to pray the right way first. So I was taken out of my norm, but it didn't feel right, so I went back to the right way. Alhamdulillah. I'm just glad I was taught the right way first. I'm glad Allah guided me to His religion and not to the people. because people are caught up in people so much that you can't see past the people. I can be by myself. I have no problem being by myself. I'm okay by myself. I love people. But I'm okay. I don't need people. I mean, I don't need that to, some people, they got to have that. I mean, I'm okay with my Lord. Whatever condition, whatever situation I'm in, I can connect with my Lord. I don't need people like that. So I don't need to feel like I need to belong so much so that I got to do what people tell me to do or else. No. But getting back to this thing with the dua, wiping over your face. First of all, because of the foundational principle in worship, that all acts of worship are impermissible except what's established in the text, then before you do an act of worship, you need to have a proof for that act of worship that you're doing. Because the burden of proof is always upon the claimants. People call me all the time and hit me like, man, whatever they call me at the moment. You know what I mean? Man, what's the proof? Someone said this. I said, hold on. If someone said that, you don't need proof. They need proof. You know what I mean? You don't quit looking for proof. You don't need proof. They need proof. Because you're doing what's known and established. They're trying to tell you not to do that. So now they need to bring some proof as to why you shouldn't do that. Right? Or if you want to do something and someone comes to you and asks you about it or something like that, you should be able to give them some type of proof. And you shouldn't be upset. They shouldn't be blowing down on you either. But you should really, be able to have a discussion about this. And you should be able to prove why it is that you're worshiping Allah in this manner. So if you were wiping yourself after making dua, then you should have known why you were doing that. Chances are you're doing it because you saw other people doing it. No one ever told you to do that, did they?
No, that's but wait, when they taught me, when I converted and the sisters taught me, that's what they taught me to do, so that's what I did.
Right. So what I mean by that, Barakallahu Fiqh, exactly. Someone showed you that or told you that, or you saw someone that you respect doing that, and you continued to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think at some point we all may have used to do it. You know what I mean? But once you start to learn and you start to study and then you start to say, or you get around another environment and you see other people not doing it, then you be wondering why. And if you ask them, they say, well, it's not from the Sunnah. You know what I mean? Or I wasn't taught that way. And then when you go back to the other people, if these people are not sincere and they're not people who are students of knowledge, they're going to get upset and offended. Like you're out of place for, you come questioning me about something. I remember when you was this, No, man. Al-Haqq fawqal jami'. That the truth is above everything and everyone. But we need to have some manners when we talk to people and deal with people. But we should, try to learn as much as we can so we'll know how we worship Allah. That's what makes us different. That's why we became Muslim in the first place. Because we didn't want to be force-fed and made to just believe. Right? We wanted to have some knowledge about what it is that we were doing. And we started listening to the Quran and we said, man, subhanAllah, that's the truth. Why? Because Allah says it here, the Prophet says it there. But some people still, unfortunately, they make a lot of bogus statements and claims, man, that need to really be dealt with. We need to be careful who we listen to. These celebrities, people that just pop up out of nowhere. Got to be careful with that. Personalities, whether they're around us, local, or, somewhere else. Especially now, on the internet. We didn't have that stuff growing up. So the personalities that we clung to were people who were, that we could see and feel and touch. We had a real relationship with them. They really did some things for us. Whether they had knowledge or not, they were sincere. Nowadays, people got a sheikh coming, he come with an entourage. He pull up in a luxury car with a chauffeur and people open the doors and all that kind of stuff. Alhamdulillah, man, to each his own.
So once you corrected about the error that you made and you corrected, you just move forward. What is are you in good standing with Allah at that point? because, you know, like for years I was doing it because I thought that I was supposed to do 5 times a day for all those years.
None of that goes away.
Okay.
Whatever is with Allah stays with Allah. It remains with Allah. If you did what you did for the sake of Allah, right or wrong, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be on your scales, no doubt. So you were only, doing what you thought was correct. But when you found out that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Talibul ilm faridatun ala kulli Muslim," that changed the game.
Right.
That the acquisition of knowledge, seeking knowledge, is an obligation upon every single Muslim. Once you found that out,
I changed it.
the game changed.
Yes, sir.
You can't say, well, somebody told, no, you're required to go find that out. Everybody's not obligated to learn Arabic, to become a scholar, to become a hafiz of Quran, to be a teacher, but everyone is obligated to know what they do daily. How to worship Allah, how to pray, how to fast, how to purify yourself. You know what I mean? How to invite people to Tawheed, you know what I'm saying, to the best of your ability. Balighu anni walau ayah. Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, relate something from me if it is but one verse. So some things that everyone is entitled or obligated to do. And you have to know. We don't blind follow in Islam unless we are, in a position where we can't ascertain or we can't look into the text. I said we have questions, of course. We respect our teachers and our elders, and and we respect and trust that what they're telling us is true. Not because they're famous or popular, because we know them and we know people who know them and we know people who know who their teachers are, right? Inna hadha al-ilm deen, fanduru amman ta'khuduna dinakum. Verily, this knowledge is deen. So look towards who you take your knowledge from. That's your deen. Just take knowledge from anybody and anywhere. You know what I mean? A person can say something good and say something bad. We stay away from that. Well, you good and leave it bad. Ignorant people like us, how do we know what's good and what's bad? We're going to be taking what suits our desires and leaving what doesn't. That's not how we practice our religion. That's not how we study our religion. That's not Islam. That's something else. We stay away from the doubtful matters. Whoever avoids those doubtful matters has saved his honor in his religion. Right? So you got too many people falling out with each other and having spats and predicated on, I don't listen to Mufti Meek. I don't listen to Umar Suleiman. I don't listen to Siraj Wahaj. I don't listen to Dawud Adib. I don't listen to Abu Osama. I don't listen to Abu Khadija. I don't listen to Muhammad this, Muhammad that. I don't listen, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'm dealing with you predicated on who you like or dislike, and you don't even know that person. Call that person, you wouldn't even answer the phone. How you get my number? Block list. Yes.
So when you say that you're supposed to, seek knowledge, I mean, I know what that means, but what does that, because you got a lot of people that become Muslim, most of us, we just are content with the bare minimum, and they're not really for real seeking knowledge. So when you say that, well, you didn't know, but you also didn't try to study either to, make yourself better. So like, what does that truly mean? Like,
Y'all fill up refills on this tea, mashallah, barakallahu feek. Okay, you made a question and a statement.
so my question is that an excuse, basically, like I didn't know that we were supposed to do X, Y, and Z, but you also didn't put any effort to.
Okay, let me see if I can kind of summarize that question and pinpoint it a little bit. The fact that we're all obligated to seek knowledge.
Right.
To what extent? And people who are ignorant, do they have an excuse to be ignorant, and to what extent? Basically, like I said, everyone is not going to be a scholar. Everyone doesn't have the desire, everyone doesn't have the ability, and also the hidayah from Allah. But there are some things that you have to be scholarly as it relates to. No one should be coming in the masjid, a sister coming in the masjid, praying, or coming to the masjid, period, and she got a bonnet on her head, you know, and her whole forehead, front of the hair, and all of that stuff is out. Her neck is exposed. She has a skirt on. Her nails are polished. You know what I mean? These are things. She was talking to you. She was asking, did you want it?
No, thank you.
You know what I mean? These are things that you have to know. Praying with your feet uncovered and all of this stuff. These are things that she has to know. And if she doesn't know, then we should teach her. We should be gentle with her. We should try to see if she maybe sincerely doesn't know, or maybe she was taught that way. She comes from a community where that's the way that they do it. You know what I mean? So these are things that you have to know, because you're worshiping Allah. You're coming to the masjid. You're sacrificing your time, your gas money, you know, maybe work, taking off work, getting the paid. You might be getting your paid doctor, something like that. This may be part of your vacation time that's being chewed away. Whatever you're doing, you're making a sacrifice for your Lord. Don't you want that to be accepted? I mean, it's kind of foolish to think that you're going through all of this and putting forth all of this effort just to have it rejected. So this person has to know that. Likewise, men. You got to come in with the skinny stuff on now. You know what I mean? Guy going in ruku, his whole half of his back is out. Yeah, that too, right? His salah is not even valid because his outer is not. Like we mentioned, outer is from the conditions. His outer is exposed, right? He going in ruku, he going in sujood with his back exposed. You have to tell him, hey man, you know, you can't pray like that. From the conditions of the prayer is that this, is that, you know what I mean? He may not know. In most cases, he'd be, oh man, subhanAllah, I ain't even know that, it's not okay. You know, you might have an extra throw from. We need to start doing that too. Carrying extra, you know, scarves for the sisters. Keep a scarf in your bag or something that you're willing to sacrifice. Just in case you run into a sister who may be having this issue. Keep a pair of socks or something like that. I mean, we should donate some of this stuff to the masjid so we can have a thawb for people to put on when they come in the masjid. You know, just so they can be, you know, we can't allow them to do that because not only is your stuff not right, but you could be distracting other people. You might have a woman come in here and light the whole place up. You can smell it from here to there. You know, got on pants, you know what I mean? Top, blouse, whatever the case may be, you know, not covered properly. You know, don't get offended. She don't know. She don't know any better. Teach her, help her understand. But everyone is not everyone is not suitable for that job. You gotta make sure you got some knowledge, first of all, and you know how to approach people. You have to have knowledge and you have to know how to approach people. And it starts from sincerity, ikhlas. You have to be sincere. What you're doing is for Allah's sake. It's not to establish dominance over this person, show this I know more than you. No, it's because you want to see that person on the right path, right? You know, so this is what a person needs to know, the bare minimum. They need to know how to fulfill those pillars, the obligations. If they learn more, then that's good. Alhamdulillah. But if you're a person who, I would say, if you're a person who makes these kind of mistakes, don't know how to pray, you're making all type of mistakes. You know, you got people that come in the khutbah, you know, answering the phone, getting up, running outside so they can talk. You know what I mean? Texting and all of that stuff. It's not permissible in the salah. You come to Jumu'ah, it's not permissible, you know? So most people, they don't know that. They have to be made aware. Maybe we talk about that in the khutbah, something like that, because a lot of this stuff happens with the people who come on Friday. Because in most masajid that we see, most mosques, you only get a crowd on Friday. Other than that, you really don't have, unless you just got a big old masjid where you got 100-something families that come for whatever. I mean, whereas you might have one member from each family, that's 100 people. Whereas in the smaller masjid, you might have 10 families, 5 families, you know what I mean? So it varies, you know, but people come for Jumu'ah who probably may never come again in the neighborhood, traveling, went to Google to try to find a close masjid. They work in the neighborhood. They, you know, had to stop, you know, for whatever reason. You may see them this Friday and never see them again in life. Or you may see him Friday and haven't seen him in 10, 15, 20 years, and maybe not see him again, you know? So people are coming to the masjid on Friday and they never come throughout the week. They don't attend classes. They don't, you know what I mean? They just busy with the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Inshallah, Allah accept from them, you know? But people like us who do try to learn, who do want to try to learn, we should make sure that we study this material. And if we got questions, if we got comments, if we don't agree with something, then we should voice that so that we can discuss it, so that we can walk away with something in our chest. You know, you hear what he said, I ain't with that. I mean, well, tell him you're not with that. You know what I'm saying? Help him understand. Maybe you know something he don't know. I mean, but we got to get that stuff out of our chest. You know what I'm saying? So that we can function together. I mean, if I say something that you may disagree with or may not go along with your understanding, that's okay. But it could be that you're not right and I'm right. Just like you think I could be wrong and you're right. You're right, I can be wrong. But you can be wrong too. How else do we do? Well, Allah said, when you fall into disputation, then refer it back to Allah and His Messenger. How Muslims got a problem with each other? And you got the Quran and Sunnah. Got a problem with me? Okay, how did Allah tell us to deal with that? It's already been dealt with. That's the beauty of Islam. Allah sent His prophet, He sent His book to explain it to the people and give them practical examples from His life. We know how to deal with stuff. Sahaba dealt with way more stuff than we have to deal with. We think we some bad jokers. Let me see one of you jokers bury your daughter alive. Put your daughter that your wife or you carried in your belly for 9 months, feeding off of you, you know, feeling that moving inside of you. Change your whole life, your whole body, your makeup, your chemistry, your whole everything changed, right? That thing come out, right? Now it's a life. Now it's looking just like you, looking like your mama, like your grandmama, reaching out for you, crying, trying to get your breast in. You're going to take it and put it in a hole alive and bury it? Y'all can't do that. Sahaba was rough, man. It was a rough time. They was getting drunk. They was killing each other. You know what I mean? You know? Murders, robbing, fornicating. But Allah sent them the religion, sent them, and then they became the best of the people. But they had issues, and that's what we take our example from. Right?
So we can't do whatever we want to do and just say, well, they talk for it. That's what talks for.
No, you try your best to do the right thing, and when you make a mistake, then you make tawbah. You don't plan to do wrong things and then say, I just make tawbah. You may not live to make tawbah. You may die in that act. Yeah. You know, so let me see. We have something online. Questions. We have any questions here? You're right, brother. The book doesn't change. So, alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone who gave salams or the rocks to your stomach out of extreme hunger. You're absolutely right. Abdul Wakil. MashaAllah. Yeah, man. Alhamdulillah. Any questions before we close out? Comments? Corrections? I make mistakes. I mean, if you saw something that was incorrect, it was from myself, you know, from Shaitan, his whispers. If it was correct, then it was from Allah. And if you saw something that was incorrect or something that you disagreed with, then by all means, I'm approachable. I encourage it so that I can, you know, make sure that I'm okay. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Okay, I guess that's it. If anyone does have any questions later, then you can just send them in. WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp group, Al-Haqq, Facebook page, YouTube channel. Alhamdulillah, we broadcast this live on YouTube. So alhamdulillah. So hopefully everything works out. This is my first time doing this class live on YouTube. So hopefully everything works out. So inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow, the Jumu'ah. Khutbah starts at 1 o'clock. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us and from you. Sallallahu wa sallam wa barak. على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Barakallahu feek.
Barakallah.